Or less to be around. Let's see. Come on. Deans. And we are here. Finally. Oh, alright then. Let's see. Off, that's off. Okay, so anyways, then greetings to everyone watching and all that. Of course, today, although it's not Friday as I usually, or rather we usually do the creators roundtables, then mix up on planning caused a delay or what else. In any case, so today we're doing a little bit of a retrospect on the No Man's Sky, as it happens, we really haven't done something like that on said game since it came out. Actually, it was like what, 2 weeks ago, give or take, right now. So yeah, I had time playing with it. I think rest of the folks watching had No Man's Sky had the time playing with it and what else, so it's time to just beat the dead horse and all that stuff. So, for today's little content creators roundtable or what else, we are gonna be, or you're gonna be joined, or we're gonna, well, whatever, you get the point. We'll be joined by Spatula and Ascorbius.
Howdy.
Good morning.
So, there you go. Two fellow creators of them YouTubes. So, let's see. So, how should we start this? I probably have the most experience, maybe? I don't even anymore. And in any case, let's start with someone else aside from myself, because I'll just probably rant on and on and on and on. So, okay, Spatula spoke first. So, Spatula, what do you think of the No Man's Sky Next as it is right now?
I think if this was the game that they initially released, then it would have been a whole different perception. I think the improvements are wonderful. I don't think the game's quite yet there. There's still some problems, but I think what this update really shows me is that the game developers are intent to fulfill their promises in the end, and I can appreciate that.
Not all games, but yeah, you're pretty much right. As a matter of fact, there's a question for Spatula. Have you actually played No Man's Sky when it first came out?
Oh yes, oh yes. Did I ever? I played about 70 hours. Basically got all the milestones. Never got to the center of the galaxy, but I played pretty much until 100% achievements, and then uninstalled and never looked back. Until this,
you did a lot more than I did. So,
yes.
Okay, I stand corrected there.
I am intimately familiar with how the game was. I am sort of new to this next update, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it again. It reminds me of the first 10 hours, because I really loved when No Man's Sky first launched, the first 10 hours is wonderful. Everything after that was terribly annoying. This brings you back to that first 10 hours, and so I appreciate it right now, but we'll see.
In the long run, huh? After the rose-tinted glasses are, you know, faded or had faded away.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I had a totally different start than you did.
Okay, go.
Yeah, I got it on PC. It had been out for a while. I'd seen a few reviews. I saw the Obsidian Ant review for it, and he said, you know, it's got some issues, but it's all right. It's worth playing. So I got it. I started playing it, and I hated it. I hated it with every fiber of my being. It was just the worst game that I'd ever played, and I uninstalled it. And I was like, no. And then I saw the tsunami of hatred towards it online. It's like, yeah, that was well deserved. It's well deserved that the game is rubbish. Over the years, the updates came out, and I thought, I'll give it another. I bought it second hand for the PlayStation. I thought, you know what? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's not a PC game. Maybe it's more of a casual sit on your sofa with a controller.
A dirty casual, you say?
Yeah, dirty casual game. So I started playing it on the PlayStation, and it had a couple of updates that had come through, like the Atlas Rises and the one where you could build bases. I got it up to date as it was before the next update, and it was actually fairly good fun, if a little spongy. The controls were really spongy, but I was enjoying it. But you know, it's one of those games that you just like, meh, I'll just put it down again, and I didn't pick it up again for ages. but I hated it on PC. Quite liked it on console.
Okay, so what is the most vile and hateful thing in your mind when you started? Because for full disclosure, I did, make the video and thingamajig about No Man's Sky. I did mention that at first I was like, I don't like the game myself, but there are some things that are likable and playable and enjoyable. And then I knew about the whole fuck-ups that Sean Murray and co. did. So yeah, at first I was like, Minecraft, but worse. So anyways, Ascorbius. So what was the most vile thing?
The wasting of time. The complete and utter wasting of my time when I first started. So it was the same kind of situation when you start now, but only it's much improved now. But they didn't give you any information of what to do. There were sentinels everywhere. Absolutely everywhere, completely impeding your progress. So I need to get something to fix my ship. Okay, what do I need to get? Don't know where to go. Oh, let's try that. I'll go in a cave. Oh no. And then anytime you try and gather any materials, the sentinel's right up in your face. Like,
yeah.
Go away. Go away. So you shoot at the sentinel, then all these mates turn up. So, I've only just started. What's this? And then it's like, okay, got to do this, and I've got to craft this. I've got to craft this thing, so now I can start the next level of crafting. And then I've got to craft this other stuff after that, and it's just like, it felt like a complete and utter grind of do X because then you can start doing Y, but you only need to do Y because you have to start crafting for Z. I'm not achieving anything, I'm just wasting my time. I don't feel like I'm enjoying this that you have in front of me. So I just hated it, so I uninstalled it. It's just like, no, I'm not doing this.
Like, I would say that that's very much still the game that it is today. Yesterday when we were playing, I just kept being like, oh, I need this. Okay, so in order to get this, I need this. But in order to get that, I need this. So really, I need to go to another planet and get this before I can craft this and craft this and craft this to get what I actually want. The only thing I'll say in its defense is that it makes the process more enjoyable than most games that have that same mechanic.
Yeah, and they reworked that entire thing. So all of because the biggest thing for me with the crafting was it was unique things that you had to pick up and find and craft, and there wasn't like, well, you've already got some ferrite dust like it is now, and you need to get some, you can refine that into something else that you need. That's much better and it's all around you. So right, I know now that if I want to make metal plates, I go get ferrite dust, or if I want to make chromic metal, I just go get some copper, and copper's everywhere. So I just go mine the copper out of the ground, turn it into chromic metal, and there's recipes that use all of these things, and it's fairly easy to do now. Whereas before it was just like, oh, and all of the stupid radioactive isotopes that were just lying around on the ground. Really? So does it crystallize like that? Does uranium really crystallize like that and stick out the ground like spikes?
It's called space magic or crack cocaine design choices. That's literally the only reason or explanation I have there. So, cocaine, everyone, cocaine.
Oh, the other thing that I didn't like about No Man's Sky before, like really truly didn't like, was how it looked like something that were drawn in crayon by a 3-year-old and stuff. I think you made the same comment in your video. Yes. It had been put on the fridge. Because it did look childish.
No, that particular comment, no, but I did talk about the whole oversaturated stuff. I mean, there is things to like about it, and I know and I see the appeal there, but it's a bit too much for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But they toned it down and improved it now a lot.
Oh, yeah, now they toned it down. They did tone it down, so there we go.
Yeah, I really liked the style of it, but the graphics and the way that things would pop in just kind of countered any of the cool factor that it had going. But they've clearly fixed that, and I think it's a much, much prettier game to look at now.
Oh, what was the other thing? Yeah, the hand-holding. Oh. So,
I can't get over that. I still cannot get over that, so... Yeah,
but it's
the aggressive, just consolified bullshit.
It was more like it wasn't hand holding. It was more like grabbing you by the genitals and dragging you along.
Yeah, it's like you couldn't get too low on the ground, so it was only an illusion of control. So you're flying your spaceship over the planet. It was just an illusion of control. You couldn't actually fly through trees and do all cool stuff.
Back in the day, it was even worse. Back in the day, it was
can actually do it now.
Now you can kind of collide when you actually go against the game, but you know, it's just going against the game a little bit. So
I forgot about the whispering eggs.
Oh no! Biological horror detected from Spatula.
Oh my god!
How did you forget about the whispering eggs?
This is a different planet. I didn't think it was like that on every planet. Go in the building. Go in the building.
Now we know that Spatula likes to get fucked. Or
died.
At least will be.
You died. Those
hey, I got a Terry.
Horrible.
I got a Terry Pratchett quote.
Cool.
Duff Puss Lothcat wants me to tell you, Yamiks, that he's been watching all of your review videos.
Oh my! I feel I feel honored and all that. So, yay! Right. Let's see what else do we got. Right. So yeah, the whole aggressive hand holding is actually now. Speaking of the whole recipes and whatnot else, actually now it's worse because you need to refine stuff just to get it. So it's basically an extra step on top of it. So,
yeah, I don't mind that so much.
Right.
And you can carry that.
You don't mind it, I do. So,
it is kind of like it feels like I don't know if y'all played Astroneer. Astroneer was a little bit like, oh my god, like I got to do this, and I feel like that system kind of got weaned its way in here, where there's a lot more steps to get what you want, a lot more little things. Like even to open some chests, it's like you have to remove this rusty metal, and I'm like, can I just open the chest? Do I have to really like discard this rusty metal to open the chest and get my loot?
It used to be that you couldn't. Yeah, you actually had to pick it up, or had slots to pick it up. But now you can actually go and discard it immediately. So I don't know. I guess it's better.
Yeah, it's just like, why do I need to remove the rusty scrap before I can open the loot chest?
Just it's damaged.
Well,
just give it to me.
Yes, instant gratification, bitch. Yeah.
Yes. So there's a lot more in here now. So like the whole thing, there was a whole thing before where there was freighters flying in and out, and you could have fights, and it was kind of inconsequential. So there was nothing really you could do. Yeah, you could have a crappy space battle, but now if you defend a freighter, you can actually dock with it, and the captain of the freighter will say, you know, running a freighter is really hard. I don't want to do it anymore. Would you like to take over my freighter for me? And I'll still work here, and I'll be sat at the desk, but it's yours. It's all yours, buddy, if you want it. So you can actually build up fleets of ships now, which is really quite different to what it was before. I own a freighter. I've not done the missions or anything. Spatula, did you say you've done missions on it? Have you done
I have. The missions are kind of like, you know, go discover 3 species. This is sort of RNG based, but there are some different various good rewards for it. It's a neat addition, but, you know, it's more just like it's another one of those many options that you can play around with.
My initial thought was, could this be what carriers are going to be like in Elite in Q4?
Oh,
are they going to be based on something like this?
Elite, yeah. I don't know. That's the saddest thing about Elite Dangerous. It's super hard to make it good, and knowing that the balance in Elite Dangerous is already quite borked. Expecting fleet carriers to be well-fitting and whatnot else part of the galaxy, you know, no, probably not gonna happen, and I'm just dreading the day when they release. At this point, it's just gonna be boom, we get overpowered thing in the game. We're gonna it's gonna take like fucking 6 months to fix it or something, probably.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think as mechanics go, like what No Man's Sky has got for the whole carrier thing, I think it's not a bad template. So if that's what they want to do, so you can't fly it around; it just appears in system. But it's a good staging ground. Like if you could fly your entire fleet somewhere. So if you've got several ships, or if all of your mates are on the ship, you can jump that ship somewhere and go to another system for whatever reason you'd want to do that.
Yeah, what happens if you crash into water now?
Nah,
Oh,
it won't allow you. It won't allow you. That's the thing. You're probably gonna clip through it a little bit, but that's about it. That's of course my guess there. So
you can't hit the ground now, which I love. I love that they took off the training wheels.
Oh well.
Oh, you've already done this one. So I came down on Spatula's signal, and yeah, he's already done this base. Because that's the other thing, isn't it? That this next update brought multiplayer with it, and it was like I was thinking when they first spoke about it, but it's very much a solo experience. So what good is multiplayer going to be? I was thinking it would be tacked on, and everyone was complaining. Yeah. Like, "But there's no multiplayer. They said there'd be multiplayer, and it's crap because there's no multiplayer." And the lies that Sean Murray told them. Oh yeah, but the chances of you actually ever seeing someone are so infinitesimally small that but it's all there, and it wasn't. It was never there. And later on, they introduced a multiplayer where it was just these like glowing orbs. You could see each other's orbs, kind of thing, but there was no animation. No
when they did the orb thing, I was actually kind of pissed off because I'm like, that's not what anyone wanted. Like, no one asked for orbs. That's the stupidest thing I'd ever heard. Now seeing how they've implemented it, I understand that was just a stepping stone. So, okay, you know what? I've been mad at you so many times, Sean Murray. But here's the thing that it's like, despite all those lies, all the press and all the attention that came to this game ultimately put it quite on the map. Maybe not in the way that they would have wanted, but if those lies hadn't been there, would you still be playing the game now?
Possibly, because it would have to.
Probably not. I mean, would I be playing No Man's Sky if again they completely did the launch semi-correctly? Probably not. If it would be in this state, because yeah, I don't find it that interesting. I play it right now because it is something that people talk about, and it is worth checking out, as it is almost a new thing, almost. No.
It does feel like a new game now. It feels like a totally different game, in my opinion.
There's a little bit of the old, a little bit of the new, and a little bit of, I don't know, something rotten, probably. So.
Yeah, it's still crashing on me occasionally, not as much as it used to. And definitely, like, I find myself getting very frustrated with the flight system. I think that's my biggest gripe, is especially in combat. It's so different from Elite, and I don't expect it to be. I don't hold it the same standard, but I find it more or less I'm struggling with the controls as opposed to my strategy.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The flight mechanics are so floppy. It's just, to say it's the complete opposite of tight controls. Like when I've won a battle, I'm like, how did I just win that? Were those guys just super weak?
Thank God those guys helped me.
There's certainly no way that it was my skills or my control of the vessel that got me there. There's no way on it, no way at all. Because I don't feel that I have that much control.
It's the spaceships in this game are basically meant just to transport you from planet to planet, or rather from Minecraft area to Minecraft area. That's pretty much how it feels to me, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are activities to do in space, but it's like, oh no, I'm gonna have a space fight. Oh, I don't really want one because there's no tactics. There's no real tactics. You've got no finesse. There's no way. There's no flight assist off. There's no lateral thrust. You can't feather your throttle. You can't do anything. It's just
you can move forward or backwards.
Yeah,
but you can't stop. You can't stop.
No.
Oh, that's another thing that is disgusting.
Yeah, and there's like subsystem targeting. It's just basically, here's an enemy. You want to try and position yourself so you're shooting at that enemy. Maybe there is a way, maybe with some skill or practice, you can get behind them, but they turn on a penny anyway.
All you really have is
shooting them, they start spiraling.
Yeah, you have directions and you have speed, and that's about it.
Yeah.
You have 4 directions and speed.
Physics in No Man's Sky are, well, it kind of works. It kind of resembles something, so yeah, okay,
Yeah.
might as well.
It's
It
an
works,
approximation of.
sort of ish.
I don't know if it even has like any form of solar system body simulation. Like,
It has rotating planets. It does
the planets
change.
rotate.
Yeah,
Change position in the solar system.
they do change. Rather, the sun, or the star, rather, the main star really changes. You know, the light, but that's the only thing. At least that's how it feels. So yeah,
Because I
I'm
don't
not
think they've gone
ready
into
to
the whole
observe
simulation
things for myself exactly like that. So yeah. Oh well. All right,
So what about you,
Ascorbius.
Yamiks?
Now,
What's your thoughts
what do you think of the game in general now? You hated it then, now?
Yeah. I'm more towards the love than the hate, for sure. I wouldn't say it's the best game ever. I've probably got 30 hours in it now. But that's not a great amount of time. And in that time, I've had some frustrations with it. But I've also had a lot of fun. And it
Fun?
has surprised me.
What is this fun you talk about?
It's... I know, right? Oh, for
I
goodness sake, what's
have no
that?
idea what you're talking about.
The planet just jumped. Planet just
What
moved.
is fun? I only know
Fun.
grind.
I only know grind.
I'll say this, is that with the multiplayer, so weirdly enough, when I first started playing this game, it seemed like loneliness was the theme. It was kind of like the story was like, you are a lonely traveler going across a universe where everyone
is more
is
the
freaking lonely.
exploration team rather than loneliness,
Yeah.
because there
you're-
are of course things.
Well, you're going around on a planet and finding billions of aliens living alone by themselves in little huts. You know, and there's no roads connecting these huts. It's very isolated. I think now with multiplayer in the game and the fact that, like, you know, I can look over and see, oh, there's Yamiks on a planet over there. It feels less lonely, and I think it's less oppressive as a result. Hey, who shoot me?
No one.
Get back here.
That's me. I'm following you. I'm not shooting you.
Oh,
Stop
really?
shooting
Oh,
me.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I thought you were shooting
That
me.
sound was freighters jumping in, moron.
Okay, sounds positive. As per usual.
Yes, I can see you now. Oh,
Sorry,
stop
sorry.
crashing into me. The worst pilot ever.
Well, in this game, it's not exactly lending to pilot skills.
It doesn't. Yeah, it is basically point and click, and then hope for the best.
Oh, how about this? Guys, what do you think of the competitive aspect of this game?
What?
Competitive?
Yes.
There's an aspect.
Competitive aspect.
Is
What-
there like a
what's that?
leaderboard or something?
Could this game be competitive? Or rather, there could be a competitive scene. Any sort of competitive scene.
Who has the biggest base? Knows the most words?
Oh, okay. More or less something like PvP.
PvP kind of
rather.
thing?
Yes.
Well, considering that you can have 4 people.
For
So
this
it's like, hey,
Spatula's
come
thing, which you get 4, but for me it's been shown 16. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess it could work, but normally the competitive PvP games have got very precise controls.
Yeah.
Something that you can really get really good with, and then learn the finesse that makes you that one little bit better than everybody else.
Like weirdly enough, I was gonna say like in Elite, I think there's a lot of areas that you can compete with. In this game, I feel like early on, it was like who could get to the center of the galaxy first, who could get to the center of the
It's a
spoilers.
speed run essentially, rather than anything else. So.
Yeah, and like Ascorbius mentioned, like building bigger bases and stuff like that. But I don't think it's like, you know, I'm the better pilot. There's no, I don't know. It's very module based. If you have good lasers that you've upgraded, then you're the better pilot.
Although saying that, you can lay down race courses and there are vehicles, so you can set up races. So maybe
you can
that
build
could
stuff,
be
yeah. So I suppose you can do that, but for that you need to actually build stuff, I guess.
Yeah, you'd have to build it, and you'd have to build your racetrack, and then you'd lay down the racetrack markers, and you could have races with you and your friends.
All right.
So that could be part of the competitive scene. But then again, there's no standard to hold it to, is there? So it's competitive against each other. There's no like. It's not like on this constant race course that everybody's been able to play and practice, and this guy's just so much better than everybody else.
Like even based on the type of game, the art style, just like who this game feels directed at, I don't feel like it's a competitive audience. I feel like it's a very casual hangout, let's have some fun kind of crowd.
Back to the casuals! You say casuals, how could you? They are competitive, professional No Man's Sky never mind, I can't finish that fucking sentence without just... No, there's... The thing is, those of you that perhaps haven't followed, or rather, looked at No Man's Sky back in the day and its Reddit and so on and so forth, there was actually... before release, of course, before release of No Man's Sky, there was actual PvP competitive sort of a Reddit subreddits created, and they were not small, and I don't mean like 10,000, you know, subscribers, but more people than that in those things. So there were actually plenty of people going for it, and what came out was just basically blah.
Yeah. Well, because for PvP there has to be multiplayer.
Indeed.
So that they were all like all ready for it. Like, yeah, we're gonna do PvP in No Man's Sky, and then it came out.
Yeah. Oh,
there's an incoming firestorm on this planet. That should be interesting.
Well, radiation is cooking my ass here, so I'm toasty with my two heads.
Come get burned to a crisp.
Hey, of course.
I want to see a firestorm. Right? I've never seen a firestorm. It's got to be cool.
It's just a lot of reds and
red dust instead of gray dust.
Yeah. I'm about to be interdicted. That's the thing. Yeah.
Oh, kind of interdicted. Yeah. A player can't do it to another one, though. So.
No, but you can't escape interdiction either. It's like. You either drop out and fight, or you drop out and run.
And if your ship is not fast enough, you're gonna... If you're in middle of space, get fucked, son. That's literally what it is about. If you don't have fast enough ship, get fucked, son. So, that's unfortunate, though. Oh, wow.
And your weapons overheat. Yeah, why is that a thing? And how do they spin so fast that it's spinning around?
It's a technique called developers tell you to fuck off. You're never gonna get this good of a ship.
If you double tap your Q's and E's or whatever your rolls, can you do that?
Nope.
No.
This is one of those games that don't employ that stupid quick roll whatchamahazard thingamajig.
Yeah.
I really hated a lot of these things in many games.
They can spin around like mad. So yeah, that does annoy me that the NPCs play a different game than you do. They're not. So in Elite, at least they use the same simulation that you do.
Isn't that the typical thing for every game?
Sometimes, yeah. Cheat, because they're never going to be as smart as a player. Or the pathfinding algorithm would be so bad. Or stupid.
I mean, let's be honest.
And every game that's had really, really good AI has had some really good help with mechanics in-game to get them there. It's like Half-Life. It's like, oh wow, the soldiers are really good in Half-Life. Well, they were, but they had markers around all the levels. They had a contextualized view of the level, and they also knew where you were.
Right. Half-Life was the first game where the AI really, truly impressed me.
And ever since then, no other game has really come close properly.
Well, it was just the first one that I noticed. It was my first senpai. AI senpai.
AI senpai.
I'm in a underwater
the
cave.
graphics here, though. The graphics are really good now. It does remind me of it's very 1970s sci-fi art. It's like the covers of sci-fi books and video games from when I was growing up.
The funny thing is that all they really changed was introduce a little bit of tessellation and tone down the colors. That's literally all they
changed
did.
A lot. Well, because do you remember those like blobby kind of rocks that were they looked like an upturned water bottle, and they were like glowing like gold. And it's like you could mine them for all sorts
those things. Yeah. They removed them because that's
gone.
Just didn't make sense.
Oh, have I landed in a tree?
No. Well, yes. Actually, the thing is, I once landed so that the ship stayed up in the air, so that's a thing too. So yeah. Oh, and one thing that they actually fixed that I really hated in No Man's Sky for all the times, and that was the stupid animal sounds. I mean, right now they are shouting constantly as well, but the thing is, they are not boosted in sound anymore. At least that much.
There's fewer of them as well. Because it used to be no matter where you went.
They do spawn less, but eventually they do spawn in quite as much as previously. So this is basically just the spawn rate.
Uh-oh. Why am I drowning in a spacesuit? No!
You tell me. You tell me, Spatula.
Why are you drowning at all?
Wait, can I replenish?
Yeah, you can put oxygen into your thing.
This thing?
Hmm.
No.
But yeah, so Yamiks. Over here we've got like an underwater. Oh, this looks like a stegosaurus. This animal looks like a stegosaurus. Pretty cool. And he's happy now. I've just fed him. I just fed this creature. Now he's gonna be following me around. That's the other thing they've done. The animal behavior. If you start feeding them, they all start flocking around you.
That was actually already present in the on the update when they did the base building. Right, there we go.
Okay.
So yeah, I did play. Actually, now that I think of it, I did pick up No Man's Sky from time to time. Either as a curiosity or because people in the chats and all over the place actually did ask what I thought of it, and then I was like, has there really been any changes? And so I do. So yeah. Oh well. And yes, there you go, folks. I do listen. Try not to too much, at least, but no. There you go.
I'm surprised, like a whole bunch of people that he listens. What?
Oh my God! The God listens. Are you kidding me?
Who are you? What have you done with Yamiks?
Yes. I shall replace him in time.
We need to find some salt, because you can mine salt and sell it for a lot of money.
Right, we were actually talking about
salt
that.
mining.
Where's the salt? Where's
You
the
can
salt?
mine salt in this game now.
Yeah.
It does feel like the company's kind of taking a piss with that one.
Yeah.
It does feel like it. Just go mine some salt, okay? Let's go. Or something.
You can also refine that salt.
Yes.
Oh my.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's close, but that's further away. So I'm gonna go mine some salt right now. Well, I'm gonna mine some sodium anyway. But you can get salt out of plants and out of all sorts of things.
Indeed.
Here
we go. There's a big pile. It actually looks like a salt shaker as well.
I prefer getting them from animal tears.
The only thing that you can't mine is fucking tears. I mean, okay. Sure. Okay.
I do feel I honestly, I can mine my own tears, because when you those cute little jumping pineapples. It's honestly, I feel bad.
Oh no, I hate all of the fucking animals in this game. I do so much. I will never forgive them. I will never forgive them. I will never. I'll kill all of them eventually. I promise you that.
TheYamiks will exterminate.
Yes, I shall exterminate all of them. And yes, I kind of feel like psychopath.
Why do you
now.
hate them, TheYamiks? What did they ever do to you? They just
are you fucking asking me about that? Really? Serious? Like, you're kidding me now? Why? A good question. Why? Oh, well, let's see. First of all, they look like garbage. Second of all, they constantly shout. Third of all, they constantly shout. Fourth of all, they constantly shout. And they constantly shout.
And if you feed them, they constantly shit.
Oh my god. And shout.
Yeah, so yeah, if you feed them, they'll excrete a substance which you need, so you have to pick it up with your hands. Wait, I imagine.
Are you fucking kidding me? Is that actually a gameplay?
That's in the game. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's the thing that you can do.
I kind of forgot about that because I hate all of them. Instead of feeding them, I always kill them. But oh my god.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can have your own group of happy animals, and then you follow them around and pick up their shit, and then put their shit into something else.
Okay, let's see if I can do that.
Free carbon.
I'm up its ass, but no, it doesn't want to be fed. Fuck it. Die!
I think you get copyright out of it, I think. Copyright?
Piece of
whatever that is.
There. Die! There's a good question, more or less floating about in all of the chats probably. So is this game worth the price that they normally would put it at, and that is, what was it, 50 euros or something? Is it worth that? At least to you. Each, yeah.
More money for worse games now. So before the update, no, certainly not. Certainly not worth it. And right now it's on sale, so yes, definitely worth getting it. If you're gonna play around with your friends, definitely worth getting it. It's no, it's no. There's a reason why it's the #1 streaming game right now on Twitch, and like all of the content creators are doing No Man's Sky. They wouldn't do that if it was shit. It's like they maybe talk about it and like how crap it is, but they wouldn't play it. They wouldn't choose to play it, but they are choosing to play it.
Sure. Like I would say in terms of the price point, you know, maybe in another year.
Oh my god! It actually did shit out something. God damn it! Fucking die!
Pick it up with your hands.
Die!
Make sure you wash them afterwards.
But yeah, I would say, like, in its current state, I still would say, like, this is like, maybe it's gone from a $20 game to a $40 game. In the next update, hey, maybe it's a $60 game at that point. And at least I would say, like, the direction it's moved in gives me hope that, you know, if you invested now, you'll probably have 10 to 20 good hours of playing, put it on the shelf, they'll release another update in a year, you can go back, you've already paid your money.
Yeah,
I would say, like,
depends on
that's good
kind of player.
Yeah. I mean, there are different people that enjoy different things. I mean, people that don't enjoy the realistic stuff, rather the abstract. Well, this will probably be more appealing. So
that's the other thing, is that the game has a limited appeal, which I would argue for Elite too. Like, there are definitely like
actually this is more appealing than Elite. Nope. I can tell you that much right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, but that's just because of the art style and the ease of use, because of the casualness, the dirty casualness, of course.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I don't know whether like in different countries they had. When I was growing up, it was Meccano. I don't know how far around the world Meccano made it. But it was basically strips of metal with holes in it, and nuts and bolts and wheels and things that motors. You could basically build what you want. And it was quite complex.
Yeah. Right.
So for me, if we were to compare games as children's toys, Elite Dangerous is Meccano, because there's an element of realism and engineering principles that you need to have a grasp of, and then you'll get really good at it. No Man's Sky, before it came out, properly before it got updated, was a children's toy called either Duplo or Stickle Bricks. There were like 4 babies to basically get their heads around sticking things together and playing, but without any danger of swallowing the pieces. And what No Man's Sky is now, No Man's Sky Next, is Lego. It's the equivalent of Lego now. So it's never going to look realistic. It's never going to be as good as something with full engineering principles behind it. But it's fun to play with. You can have some good times, and you and your friends can argue over the pieces.
Yeah, I don't think the intention is to be a game with good graphics and realistic flight mechanics. So it is what it is. You know, whether that appeals to you or not.
It was supposed to be the sorry, the indie artistic guff, or what else you want to call it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it was made by at least at first, you know, indie guys, and then got picked up later. But yeah, there you go, basically.
Well,
Exactly.
How big are Hello Games as a team?
I have no idea. They were like 20.
I think it was like yeah, I want to say it was like 10 people when they started, and then probably when Sony gave them money they expanded, but it's small.
Because if it's a tiny team that's built this, you have to take your hat off to them, and especially if they've kept with it and they're producing updates regularly. I mean, since its release, they've put out, I think, 3 patches to fix problems for people.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying is like, hey, you know what? They may have really royally screwed up. Maybe a lot of that was due to pressure from Sony, probably. But I think that at the end of the day, like, the fact that they put their heads down and worked on it and got the game to at least this point, that impresses me. That gives me hope that at least, you know, hey, like, in another year's time, it'll probably be an even better game. So, you know, I'll uninstall it again in 10 hours, but one day I look...
Okay, well, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. So then of course there comes the question: has No Man's Sky redeemed itself?
Right. So I would say that's a question with 2 aspects to it. Has the game redeemed itself? I think the game has redeemed itself. Has Sean Murray redeemed himself? I don't know. I don't think so.
For me, it's never. Really, his credibility was in the shitter because he actually chose to go for... not only touting the line of what Sony told him to do, but actually go out of his way to sort of present it in a even more slight stuff.
But do you think it was intentional?
Yes.
Or do you think he was just excited?
I mean, who would actually smile while talking about the fucking multiplayer? Who would fucking smile while doing that? Yeah.
No, I'll agree that the way that it was...
And laugh, I mean, come on.
Like, the way that it was presented doesn't match up with how it was implemented. I think that's probably because of a change that happened in the development cycle later, which is why devs typically don't like to talk about things too early. But I don't think he was, like, intentionally trying to overhype it. I think it was just more like he was excited about it, he was inexperienced, and just, you know, blabbed his mouth too much.
Yeah.
And probably regrets it.
I doubt it. I really doubt it.
We have to remember that a company is a collection of individuals as well. Like,
Exactly.
A lot of people working in a company on something. They should be proud of what they've produced now, I think. And they've managed to turn around a lot of the internet who were completely against them. And they stuck with it, and they have turned them around. A lot of people. There will always be some people who say, you know what, no, once bitten, twice shy. These guys have betrayed my trust already. I'm not going to trust them again. But that's the company's fair enough. That's fair enough statement. You know, we ask people all the time to be, you know, to beware when it comes down to pre-orders, and you know, don't
never pre-order.
Fall for the hype.
Never pre-order, really.
Yeah, but
there are
people
very rare instances where you can pre-order, but if it's just for one little cosmetical piece, don't. Please, people, don't. There's no good reason to do so. Unless you really want to preload and you're living in, I don't know, Australia. Unfortunate as it may be. Yeah, maybe. But even then it's questionable. That's the thing. Yeah, you know, pre-ordering as a thing doesn't... It's basically just companies having your money earlier, and not really well, again, it doesn't help company to develop game because it's already developed and all that stuff. So pre-ordering is just basically just cashing in money early and having, you know, already something to boast about. That's almost literally what it is about. Of course, there are some underlying, of course, cynical things as well. Even so.
It's like, hey, you get a signed poster of the game for, you know, the game that may or may not be good or may not come out.
Are we talking about fucking Star Citizen now?
Like pre-order bonuses. In general.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But sure, if you wanted to bring that game up, I was going to avoid trying to compare it.
With me, it's
like,
eventually. It's just it depends on, you know, when rather if. For me, it's when rather than if. So yeah. But yeah, that's the funniest thing. I mean, as in the recent video that Atlas made, or those that perhaps watched it and know him as the Charlatan Wonder. He made the video, and I did actually voice a couple of lines there too. He did say, you know, that that No Man's Sky is making already. That was made before the next update. It's already, you know, kind of edging and being better than Star Citizen in every single way. That's the funniest thing. So, but anyway, so yeah, that's already an accomplishment to me in some way. So yeah, but no, for me, yeah, I honestly just explained this already in previous, I think, streams and other things. But in general, just the fact that developers have kept with it and stuck with it, that is somewhat baffling. It feels like, you know, I would have just shut it down and made another game or another company or something like that, rather than continue doing it. But well, that would have been probably better for long term. Not long term, but it would definitely be giving them a better option to start anew, rather than stick with it and hope for the best after working hard.
I would argue this.
Would you trust anybody from that company? If you were in the industry, would you hire someone who worked at Hello Games after what got produced, first of all?
I would trust developers, I would not trust Sean. That's the thing. He was willing to go and, you know, present it the way he presented it. So obviously either him or the company that was behind it, Sony, kind of, you know, incentivized all that particular talks and all that stuff. So yeah,
so maybe they
as
just
for individual
needed a PR
developers,
manager.
no, definitely I would trust them. Why not?
I think it's just like it was a PR issue, and I mean, there's two sides to it, right? Because I think that one of the greatest problems that an indie developer would have is indifference, right? Like, people just don't care about their game or who they are. It's easier to turn hate into love. You know, at least people hate you, they know you. And then if you can prove yourself in the long term, well, okay. If Hello Games delivers on their promises at the end, well, look, it was just a PR issue. They shouldn't have had Sean Murray getting in front of cameras and talk.
Actually, it's a lot easier to turn love into hate rather than the vice versa, because launch proved that easily, and regaining that, even apathy, even regaining apathy is very hard. And okay, bottom line is, mad props to, you know, Hello Games for actually choosing to go the hard routes, or taking it hard route. Just the hard option in general. The fact that sticking with the game, you know, delivering update after update that is actually quality and actually pretty good at the fact.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. That's... Yeah,
like,
I don't know. That's just me.
like, I am waiting for the update in Elite that will be the equivalent of what No Man's Sky did with Next. That is going to be the day that I no longer leave my computer chair and fully become a potato. When that happens, my life is over.
They haven't done it because like they just know that that's what you'll do. It's your fault that they haven't done it.
Yeah, Raven's just like, but we can't do that to Spatula. Let's just make everyone suffer.
They definitely care about Spatula. They definitely care about someone even like myself. I highly doubt it. I highly do. So, yeah. Well, then again, that's just my own perception. But yeah. Well, let's see what else. I suppose I could have made a ding-dong building, but well, whatever. Doesn't matter, it's okay. I'm gonna build it some other day, perhaps, for a stream, if I ever choose to stream again for No Man's Sky, so that's that. Let's see. Is there else? There was I'm just kind of blanking out right now. Fuck. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just tickling an alien.
I see.
And that's the thing you can do now.
Oh. Okay. Is it a good touch or bad touch?
I don't know. They haven't sent me to HR. But
Pete hasn't come after you. I see. Okay. Well, in that case, it's good. It's good. Kinda.
I'm doing a planetary dogfight right now.
Really? I do like the planetary approaches. When you're flying through clouds.
It's very smooth. Very smooth.
There are some
like even Elite has that little loading screen
but...
pause.
Yeah, Elite has again. Elite has that loading screen because Elite doesn't load. No, doesn't tend to load in things on the go. On the planets, yeah, it does sort of load things on the go, but Elite in general doesn't really do that. It usually spawns things here and there, but loading in things on the go, like, you know, the typical things that these days are basically being, you know, used and done and whatnot else, it's not really being done, which is a rather interesting thing, I suppose. So, yeah, Elite, there you go. I guess Elite's engine is not as great as everyone thought. Maybe,
Elite's engine's really powerful. I mean, it's powering...
I wouldn't say it's very powerful. I wouldn't say it, honestly. Underlying things, maybe, but even those are iffy. Again, the game itself cannot sustain a proper fucking 4-player instance even. That's the problem, mostly, you know. You would think that in the normal game, 4 players in a server or an instance, aka, right? Would be just fine.
That's the peer-to-peer stuff, isn't it? So that's the problem with the peer-to-peer networking.
Is that my ship?
And that's something that's going to get better over time when people's network, because it's down to the individuals in the instance. Shit, big thing set up. That will determine how big the instance can be and how reliable the instance can be.
So basically, if you have potato internet, the instance is gonna be garbage. Yep.
Good luck.
Or you could have like really good internet connection, but somebody has got terrible internet connection who's in the instance with you, and that will limit the size of the instance because it has to send those messages between the different connections. So if everybody's got a really high-end internet connection, you can have quite a large instance. But the thing is, there's no way of knowing. So,
yeah.
It might have been better if they'd gone the EVE Online route and had servers, and then you could have any number of people. But that would have been
limiters. Yeah, at least we would know precisely what is the limiter, rather than like what. Let's see, I think it was Plater, yeah, basically you, Ascorbius, Plater, and, you know, rest of the guys there, who confirmed, you know, how many people before you actually crashed the fucking game. are allowed in an instance. That was hilarious indeed. So
I remember when EVE Online first started, instancing was a massive problem. If you get too many people in one area, it would crash one of the nodes. It would just go down. It'd kick you out. So they've improved that over time, but that's one of the dangers of having to run your own servers. You don't, you have to keep recycling nodes.
Right.
So they've. Oh, I like these crash freighters. They were actually quite smart in the early days with Elite to not have servers and have it so that you're dependent on each other. Because they didn't need to develop that technology, but now maybe as they're pushing more and more people to go to open, it seems, I don't know how accurate that is, but it seems that they're pushing more and more people to open. They will need to do something about the instancing.
Sure. Well, you were telling me a long time ago that it was, it's like, as people's internet get better, it will scale up, but this depends on how the internet does.
Yeah, that's
the internet knows all.
Yeah, if the internet gets faster, then the game will be run perfectly. So by the time we're done, maybe it'll work.
Yeah, but then by the time they've done that, Star Citizen will be out.
Sure.
Oh,
by the time Star Citizen is out, you'll be able to go to the moon for $20.
Oh my! Here comes the Star Citizen jokes.
As I'm salt mining right now.
I see. Well then. Actually, here's an interesting topic that we were kind of discussing here and there. Either that was me or with someone or with you. I don't remember exactly, so sorry. But anyways, the whole Gamescom is coming, right? So Gamescom is the, Europe's biggest gaming convention and all that stuff, that if you didn't know. So basically, Elite's not gonna, Frontier's not gonna have a booth there. So that means, well, there wouldn't be any sort of a news piece or whatnot else coming. But, as it happens, unlike with PAX or whatnot else, where I actually visited Americas and all that stuff,
right.
There apparently would be some sort of announcements for Elite. And the funny thing is, there will also be apparently this closed press thing, or announcements or whatnot else. So, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why are they doing that? That's
I have no idea.
Because the silence is deafening right now. We don't know what's happening for Q3, and we're in Q3. What on earth is happening?
They do feel very old school in their communication, like they would only talk to media about those big announcements, or they're, going a little more closed in, keeping it close to the chest. And I don't know, maybe that's a reaction to No Man's Sky, right?
Maybe it is. Maybe they knew.
So. I mean, they wouldn't have predicted that themselves. So.
I mean, like, so they're going to announce what the Q4 features are, you think, at this?
Q4 features. Okay. So, oh yeah, they will be talking about that stuff apparently. So, but I mean, aside from Squadrons, I don't know, really. I can't expect much more. I mean, they will announce eventually, of course. Who knows if that's going to be the Gamescom thing, but the paid content for Beyond series, that might be talked about, but again, it's all speculation at this point, and as you know, Yamiks doesn't like that. Yamiks doesn't want to get hyped or even attempt to talk about that stuff, so yeah.
You're no Sean Murray.
That too, yes, that too.
Green rocks.
There is a danger of falling into the hype trap. But I think that Frontier is so far at the other side of that right now, it's impossible to have any hype because there's no information. All we can do is speculate, and like you were saying, quite rightly, speculation is bad because all it does, it just puts everything on you. You build your own hype train. Maybe they're going to start introducing this thing that I don't like about the game. Maybe they'll improve
and
it.
then when they announce something, you're disappointed because it's not the way you thought and whatnot else. So
yeah,
sure,
it's management of expectations. That's why they should announce something. What's coming in Q3? They should announce something for management of expectations, if for no other reason. You destroyed a pirate vessel, Yamiks.
I mean,
oh yes.
Despite everything you're saying, it's like go back to the original Kickstarter videos, right? And it's like, there's a lot of features discussed in those. There's a lot of hype in those videos, so it's not like we're the guilty parties for hyping it up. I mean, they set the expectation from the start. They did set a timeline. I'm not sure. I have to go back and watch those to know if that timeline is way off or if we're sort of just a little bit behind. But so the hype is from what those videos presented.
But then they did say that they had a 10-year plan, and anything that they had talked about in those videos is what they want to do. It doesn't have to happen on day one. It could happen at any time in that 10 years. So still, it's still on us when we get overexcited for a game, and this segues us back to No Man's Sky. We got overexcited about the possibility of this game where we could do anything. Everything's procedural. Yes, we were spoon-fed. They didn't mind that we were getting overexcited about it, because then when the release day came, there was a ton of press. There was so much free press for them. Like, for a small company, that was ridiculous. A small company is on the BBC about a game. A small company is on the Stephen Colbert show about a game, right? That's nuts. So that whole media circus came from somewhere. I reckon Sean Murray got swept up with that and just.
But I mean,
I don't think he deliberately went for it. That's my perception. So.
I feel like Sony just threw him out there, and he'd had no experience, and he made a mistake. Someone at Sony should have been like, "Hey, like, we know what's in this game at this stage. Maybe we should be stepping in and helping with this PR stuff."
Or perhaps Sony actually pushed for these hype building things, because they knew that people won't blame Sony for this. They will blame Sean Murray for this, and Sean Murray apparently, well, if that line of thinking is correct, of course, Sean Murray apparently would be, inclined to just toe the Sony line of just hyping it even further and further.
Yeah. They gave him enough rope to hang himself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or even more so. Or basically Sean, instead of having that rope, made it himself. Because why not, I guess?
Yeah.
Hey Sony, do you like me now?
Oh dear. Yeah, I do feel bad. I felt bad at the time, but then when I watched some of the videos and he's just smiling and like, yes, it can do that. So what about, can you meet other players? Yes, that's in the game. Yes. What about all this other stuff? It just said yes to everybody. I've dealt with sales.
Here's the thing.
Quite a lot. Saying yes is the easiest sale in the world.
I just don't feel it's like that. I think what he was trying to do, and I think this is where the misunderstanding came from, is when you actually start playing this game, you realize a lot of it is about discovering the mechanics as you go. And so he didn't want to answer questions with any certainty because he wanted you to discover it himself. Now, the terrible thing is that, leaving that vagary, it allowed people to, extrapolate more from what he was saying.
There wasn't much of a vagary about fucking seeing other people or your character, as a matter of fact.
I was going to say, there are a few exceptions. There are a few exceptions, and multiplayer is one of the big ones, where it's like, okay, that, and like the whole influence system and how there's meaningful relationships with the factions, that was not even present in the game when it first started. Or there was no point to it. So there definitely were some exceptions where, maybe they changed direction. Maybe he was just too excited and talking out of his butt. But, I really just don't think it was a sinister plan.
I'm a cynical man. I find it all cynical, man. Blah blah blah. I
try to see the hope, but I can
the positive spatula here.
Yeah, if it turned out to be that it was a sinister plot, sure, it's not like I would staunchly disbelieve it. But I don't think it's the case. I don't want to think that that's the case.
Alright.
And that's some like game theory stuff, isn't it? If he was trying to be that cynical, if he was trying to be that manipulative from the get-go, and it's like, yeah, I know what's going to happen. They'll buy the game anyway because they'll buy into the hype. Then that'll give us a load of cash. We'll go dark, so we're not going to answer anybody's questions. And then we'll release some updates to try and garner some goodwill. And then in a couple of years' time, we'll release a big update that fixes everything. It's on my business statement. Plan made. Let's go.
But here's the thing: regardless of that, the game is actually decent. Like, they're clearly trying to make a good game. You've heard those stories before, but then those games come out and they're so low effort, using copied resources, and you know, it's early access.
Asset flips, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So like it's not like they didn't try to make a good game, and I think that's like the intention's there. If you play the game, you may have problems with it, you may find issues with it, but you know, it's not like this game was made as a cheap cash grab. Someone truly had a passion to create this and wanted it to do well, regardless of how they went about doing it.
They released a version too early, probably because of financial pressure, and they rushed features to get it out the door. Sony probably has a big hand in this. It's a small team. They promised a lot. They had this in their head. That's what they wanted to do. And then Sony probably like, look, we give you a bunch of money, and I'm not seeing any game. So hurry up. Come on, TikTok. And then so it's like, oh right, we just got to release something.
Oh yeah, Sony had that. Well, because of the Sony, yes, definitely, because they are sort of the publisher there, or at least they share the role there. So yeah, publisher's task is to push the developer to, you know, publish the fucking thing, obviously. So the same thing goes with, I think it was executive producer, or producer, basically. That's, again, yeah, it's basically producer's task to push it out, and on publishers to push those producers to push that stuff, and well, that's the corporate hierarchy as far as I remember. So yeah, I don't know, really. It's a lot of things. Yeah, could have gone right and did not.
Oh, can you imagine though if this was the game that they released on the date? They got the money, they got the resources. Release this game, everyone be running scared. I think that this, on its own, is a far better game than, you know, what I would have expected. And there've been a lot. This version, this next update, has taken some ideas that came from games that were created because of the hype that No Man's Sky created and the gap that it left. So games, I don't know how old like Astroneer is, but I do think that it's quite possibly. Yeah, I think it's quite possibly it was created as a response to No Man's Sky failing quite so hard, and because they knew that yes, these people want a game like this. The market's there.
Sure.
The market research has already been done, and look how many people are disappointed. That's a lot of people. Let's make a game. That's also a cynical way of looking at it, but I do think that some games did benefit heavily from No Man's Sky's initial failure.
Oh, for sure.
No Man's Sky's come out afterwards and it's kicked them all to the curb.
I think it's all solidified interest in the genre, and that opens the field where I'm sure there's probably companies now working on the next Elite System competitor. It's probably just not been announced.
X4 would be probably the closest one that we know of. So yeah, but who knows what X4 will actually be. So yeah,
no idea.
I think at the end of the day, like No Man's Sky proved that people are willing to put money down for these kinds of games, but you know, there's a minimum standard in terms of quality that you need to adhere to. You know, you also, you know, can't take your sweet ass time. Well, sorry, Star Citizen.
Lost.
Oh god.
Yeah.
There was your attempt at
if anyone's
joke.
guilty of taking sweet ass time.
Oh well.
Yeah. And just, you know, don't add 50 new features when you still haven't added 2.
Actually, speaking of that, yeah, today before the whole Creators Roundtable, I was, you know, attending the Unicon, the Latvian so-called Comic-Con or whatnot else, but basically just, you know, Geek Fest and whatnot else, mostly about anime, cartoons and stuff like that, but there are game devs. Usually, yeah, game devs do actually participate, and it was interesting to talk with them too. And yeah, one thing that I did mention to every single one of them, at least I hope I did, in any case, don't have feature creep, because I know pretty well how that goes and where that leads. So yeah.
Sure. Feature creep is real. It's real in every single software engineering project. It's a nightmare to keep under control, because once you've got something started, like, oh, it would be even better if we did this. Oh, I've got this now? Oh, if we could do this as well.
Ascorbius, don't you have that in your own videos anyway? So, you know, it'd be really nice is if I put a snow globe in here. And well, if it's going to be a snow globe, it might as well have a Sidewinder in it. So it's
yeah, feature creep is real, and it's really hard to keep under control. It's really important to keep under control, otherwise you can't release things on time, or with like the quality that you expect. That's Project Manager 101, that is.
Pretty much.
So have we found a decent planet in this system yet? Because
no, they're all kind of hostile or have firestorms or showers.
That's called RNGs is being a dick, and also game developers just deciding, you're not gonna get a single fucking good thing, so you're gonna have to just have some sort of threat thing come along and whatnot else in the game. So yeah.
Well, we were playing yesterday.
Shall we go to your freighter?
Oh yeah, sure. You want to check out my freighter?
Yeah. Well, then you can jump your freighter to the next system, and then we'll see what that's like.
Sure.
My house is full of fuel. Yes.
Where the heck is it?
Where's your freighter? It's your freighter. I didn't park it.
Screw it. I'm gonna jump to
which letter?
System somewhere.
Which letter did I park in now? Okay, there's a space station. I think it's near there. I'll head there.
I can't see it.
Let's see. There is a comment there in my end. So, let's see. No Man's Sky has caves. Folk have been waiting for caves in Elite Dangerous for so long. Yeah, it's interesting that relief in many planets and all that stuff in Elite just don't seem to resemble real things. It's just vaguely, randomly altered height maps. That's about it. And that's that's the easiest thing you can do with, again, planet or surface building. I've coded that myself once, by the way. So yeah,
it's a height map. Height maps are fairly straightforward.
Oh, you know what? I think when my game crashed, my thing disappeared.
You can summon it. Yeah, the problem actually isn't with the rendering, YamiKs. The problem is with the collision detection. So
that too, yes.
Because like checking to see whether you've intersected a polygon is it's not easy. And when you've got what they call them, convex hulls and concave hulls. Right. I think it's the convex hulls are the ones that are really hard. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I've done any game development. But yeah, so because nothing goes in on itself on a just an undulating terrain, it's the collision detection is quite simple. But if you have caves, then that means that each of those sections need their own collision detection. It's just a nightmare. So to keep things simple, I imagine Frontier said, no caves. But can we have caves? Caves would be great. Yeah. The renderer can do it. No caves.
Is it because of the planetary generation system that they use over what this uses?
This thing also uses planetary generation, but the difference is the way that the game is basically built. The collision system that in this game is built upon or
this
how
is
it's
built with
made.
caves in mind.
Yeah.
And they've upgraded it too. There's different types of caves now as well. They've done a lot of work on the cave generation system.
Yeah, I was just in an underwater cave, and I was surprised that like I was running out of oxygen, but in the algorithm makes it possible for me to explore that cave without dying. And I was like, that's got to be hard map to figure out. I ain't no programmer.
So we got a corpse of a spatula somewhere floating about, being a bloated just thing.
Yeah.
Bleh.
Spatula's corpse.
What a wonderful topic to pick up on stream, right?
Don't
People
be
enjoy the
my
quality
corpse.
streams, right? People enjoy those quality streams of content creators just mingling, talking about, right? Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah. Just, why not? You know, why not? Why not?
It's Scorp, good, but come on board my freighter and we'll
yeah, right? Right?
see if we can jump.
I'm on your freighter. I'm just coming up to
You
the
are?
bridge. With my space legs.
Ah, yes, right.
It says hyperdrive has no fuel. So how do you fuel your freighter?
Same fuel that you use for your normal ship.
Where do you put it in though?
Do I
Maybe
need
on
to
the
tell you where to put
inventory. On the inventory. No.
Does it tell you where to shove it? I don't think I need to go.
Go figure now,
Here
huh?
it is.
Just go figure.
Warp cells. Okay, I need warp cells. That's easy. You can do that.
Here's the thing that still irks me somewhat about No Man's
Aw.
Sky. All of the NPCs are just standing around or sitting
Oh
around
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
how
doing
hard?
nothing.
How fucking hard is it, from a game designer's perspective, like yourself? Well, that used to be or whatever. Doesn't matter. Just somebody that actually has coded stuff in a game. You know, Ascorbius, how hard would it be to actually put animation and simple A to B movements?
Well, you define some paths around the bridge and I can walk around them. I mean, for goodness sake, that's what Mass Effect did. If you're on the Citadel, you can watch people walking around, and if you watch for long enough, they'll follow the same exact path all day long. But it makes the play feel alive. Yeah, it gives that illusion of life. But just people sat around or standing around. So there you go. So what are you guys doing? You're doing nothing. Why am I stood on the top of your ship?
I'll tell the worst. The worst.
I died.
What? What?
I died.
Oh no! By death by cosmic ray bombardment.
What?
Yeah, because I was on top of your ship.
Well, yeah, that's not how you fly, Scorby.
So there are bugs. There are still bugs in this game.
You don't say. There are bugs. Wow! First I've ever heard there are bugs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Different type of station
Can't
now as
be.
well. Yeah, there are some bugs, and they are fixing them, I guess. But I'm on an old style station now. I thought they were changed.
There's a black hole.
Oh, how? What happened?
Fuck it. As well.
Holy crap! I'm on a broken station. This station. Oh my god! This station is wrecked.
What?
I'm on a wrecked station.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta check that out. Where are you?
I'll be in the same system that you were in, but...
Okay, I see a
doors
black
are all
hole. Let's
broken?
see, can I actually die while ramming it? I wonder.
You want to
No,
ram
those
the
are.
black hole?
If you go into a black hole, it'll jump you to another part of the map.
Really?
That's
a wormhole?
Yeah,
Don't
so
tell
all
me
the,
that's a
black,
wormhole.
all the black holes are basically shortcuts to the center. So every time you go into a black hole, it warps you a bunch of light years towards the center. So if you want to, you need something to go into them. Though.
Wait, I just... Oh, come on. I just went through it. This is bullshit.
Yeah, that's still one of the aspects of the game where it's like, okay, Elite definitely has the stellar phenomena, hands down.
Oh, this is such
Oh,
bullshit.
Dock again. Accidentally redocked.
Oh, wow.
Redux.
Oh, wow.
I'll tell you though, landing and docking in this game works for me.
Okay, yeah, that's also part of the hand-holding aspect of
I
it.
can do things. I don't feel like a failure all the time.
When the game borks itself, well, then you might feel a bit different then. Buddy.
Yes. Every ship comes with that name.
When I first started playing it, and and it docked itself, I was so like, I didn't know how to feel. Like, because I've learned how to land ships. I feel like I've earned my stripes. I can land anything. Not with flight assist stuff, but I can land anything. I've done this. I got good at it. And then No Man's Sky's like, yeah. No, well, you might not, so we're not going to let you. We'll do it for you. Yeah. It's okay.
Little baby are unable to dock. Oh, let us do that for you. Yes.
Yeah, we'll do it for you. Don't worry. It's all good.
Yeah. Mandatory docking computers. How is the station wrecked?
Come have a look.
Show me where it hurt.
I'll show you where the nasty.
Show me where the nasty pirate touched you.
Point me on the doll.
Why don't you? Why don't you come in and take a seat, please?
Ooh.
Why don't you take a seat, please? Right? Oh.
This isn't wrecked. This is just by the same people who designed the crate. This is the crate design aesthetic. Wires everywhere.
I see. Okay, that kind of makes sense. I guess. Sort of.
Oh, I like the crate.
I love the crate. It's my favorite ship.
Python's still better, but crate is really good.
But
what do you expect when you copy Python? You get a really good ship. Simple as that, right?
It's just the crate's cockpit is my favorite cockpit in the game.
Actually, I gotta agree with that because it's one of those. Well, yeah, it is actually the sort of good medium between the huge ass ship where you can barely see the hard point come out, and actually have a properly decent hard point actually come out, unlike with what's it, Sidewinder or Viper or Cobra even, right? You actually see the weapon properly, and I mean, I love a good pair of balls in my face or a wang, right?
See,
there goes a quote. There goes a quote, people.
Yeah.
Capture that if you want.
Please quote that. But that's what I miss about the Sidewinder, because for my second account, I've been flying around and spending a lot of time in a Sidewinder, and having those weapons just right in front of you and just so in your face has been very enjoyable. And you miss that.
We love our good dong in our face, yes. A powerful dong, nonetheless, yes. Yeah, that makes sense, yes.
Ascorbius, there's a teleporter over here.
Yes, there is. I don't have any teleport. I haven't got anything on my base like a Did you go? Where'd you go?
I hope I can come back.
I already jumped away. I don't care. In any case, oh, look at that. It's been an hour and a half of the stream, give or take, and we didn't, or rather, at least I didn't intend to go for a lot longer than this. Again, this is somewhat of a special occasion, but, you know, we decided to go for No Man's Sky, or since Elite really doesn't have anything sort of better going on it, so why not discuss another space game that is actually showing up all the other games in a little bit, if not completely. So, there you go. And for those of you that don't know the other two voices in, well, the sort of voice thing, chat thing, ding today, so I was joined by the magnificent Spatula and amazing Ascorbius. Oh, both of those fuckers are found on the YouTubes, as per usual, and I've been yours truly, the great and powerful TheYamiks. In conclusion, how would we rate No Man's Sky?
How would we rate it? With a number system?
Not necessarily. Maybe just a recommendation or recommendation against or non-recommendation. I don't know. It's probably better because numbers. It's been done.
Yeah. I would say graphics are fun, music is good, gameplay is okay, movement is clunky, mechanics some are good, like scanning and mining, and ironically not the strong ones in Elite.
Actually, scanning is pretty fucking fun.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
So funny enough, it's like the scanning and mining works really well in this game versus the combat and trading. Elite wins hands down. The grind can be satisfying in short bursts, but over long periods, the game definitely loses luster. The combat is arcadey, and needs refining.
Well, what do you expect from a casual game?
Casual, colorful exploration game for you. Multiplayer, I would say, was brilliantly implemented. I like the way that they've done it, where you can jump into someone else's game and still retain your progress and technology. Like, they didn't make it where you have to jump across the universe to meet across with your friend, and I like that. The new planet system generation is great. Conclusion, is the game good? Sure. Is it for everyone? No. But it will get better. But I probably won't be playing in 2-3 years.
Okay. Ascorbius, any thoughts?
Well, I'll echo what Spatula said. Well, I won't echo because I'm not going to repeat him because he's already said good points. I will add that I do really love the music. It's totally my cup of tea. I think the improvements they made to the engine and to the actual game are really worth it. It's I don't know. I'd give it 7.5 out of 10 dead horses. I think.
So wait, that's good or bad? Because
I don't know. I'll let you work that out.
It really depends on. It depends how hungry you are.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the issue with the stupid point system. Again,
Exactly.
I'm not the only one saying that, scores are kind of useless and what it tells you. Take it for what you will, and I'll examine whether or not you like it. Because for you, it's different.
I actually wrote a review on the Steam page for it, so I put
was
my
a
thoughts in
recommendation
there.
or against?
It's a recommendation. Yeah, I recommend it. Yeah.
Okay.
And especially now it's on sale, and they've extended the sale, so pick it up while it's still on sale, I'd say, because then you're gonna have fun. Is it worth it when it goes off sale? Probably, yeah. If you've got nothing else to do, there's nothing else
Dark
like
Souls.
it, really.
That's just me. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say anything. No, never mind me.
So I don't actually get on with the Dark Souls style games. This is much more the space and exploration kind of thing is something I quite like.
Oh,
I don't like games that try to hurt me.
Oh, so Ascorbius and Spatula are basically dirty casuals. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, you break my heart, Yamiks.
I know. Just like Star Citizen broke your wallets. Oh god, okay, never mind, that's just a cheap insert there. Anyways, on my part, in a summary, I'd say, just more or less like Ascorbius said, I would not recommend, actually I did say it before even, but whatever, that doesn't matter, honestly, yeah. So basically, I do recommend picking it up if you are interested in this type of looking gameplay. Don't expect any concise or precise or what else controls, but if you enjoy the look of the game, definitely pick it up on the sale, because outside the sale I would still not recommend it. Simple as that. Because for that money you can easily pick up Elite Dangerous, and Elite Dangerous is, as a matter of fact, yeah, also cheaper, a lot cheaper as it happens on sale, but that's another story. Let's see, what else? Oh, and in general, yeah, we already talked about whether or not it redeemed itself, so on my part I've said yes, actually has. I never really got that angry at anyone in the company or developers or whatnot else that, they lied or whatnot else. I just found it extremely funny and also disgusting, but disappointing most of all, not just something I should be angry about. I don't know. Again, there are very few things that will make me angry properly, unless it's really disgusting. Nothing else. Not maybe disgusting, but whatever. You get it. Anyways, let's see. But no, I've enjoyed the game. But it's not my type of thing. I much rather go play something a bit more realistic as I go for that sort of a style. But oftentimes, when it comes down to it, something like, I don't know, even Fortnite, right?
Is this Fortnite to PUBG?
I don't know.
I
Like
kind of
Elite is to No Man's Sky.
The thing is, I kind of
PUBG.
made that comparison one of the streams way back when, and it's hard to sort of exactly. No, art style wise, sort of, not necessarily, but
Sure.
sort of. But yeah, there are times when your grumpy old TheYamiks wants to do some cuddly wuddly things, and this. Well, this game would not be one of those that I would pick up just for that. I would rather go for Team Fortress, but again, I'm an FPS fan. That's simple as that, and this is, by FPS standards, pretty poor. But as for, you know, gameplay-wise, yeah, it's decent. It's decent. So there you go. That's at least my sort of summary of. Yo. Right. Do you have anything else we didn't mention?
Let's talk about Star Citizen. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh fuck no! Perfect ending. Okay, so I'm gonna go off the Discord thingamajig and do a little bit of ending on my own end. So feel free to do that on yourselves and on your own time and what else. So for the official part, I must say a big thanks once more to Ascorbius and Spatula for well, popping in and actually filling sort of the time and helping out and talking and all that wonderful stuff. And so yeah, go take a look at their work. They both have some rather unique parts of well, what Elite community creates. So yeah, again, Spatula and Ascorbius. That aside, on my part, I don't know. Oh right, yeah, those of you that perhaps don't remember my name, yes, that's the great and powerful TheYamiks. That's about it on my end, and that's about it on the Creators Roundtable. Tune in next week, because we probably will have something a bit more special than this. Maybe something more interesting. Or maybe not.
More special than this.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Don't read too much into it. So anyways, guys.
Hype train!
You guys take care, and have a great weekend and all that wonderful.
Thanks, Yamak. You too, you
Thanks,
too.
TheYamiks. Take care.
And,
yeah. Right. So, there we go. That would be it on the official part. Let's see. Did any tips got given out? No, I think not. Let me just recheck just in case. Just in case I don't miss any, you know, proper thanks and all that stuff. Let's see. Oh, it does not seem that I missed anything. Okay, so, well, in any case, guys, if you enjoyed the stream and all that wonderful stuff, there's always Discord you can join. At least my personal Discord, not Creators Discord. That's a separate thing. That is for this, for Creators only. But in any case, right, let's see. Let me just quickly put the link in the description, or you can, not the description, but chat, so you can join. And if you enjoyed the stream, do subscribe, do follow on the Twitch as well. And hey, if you enjoyed the stream and all that wonderful stuff, there's always, you know, support appreciated in form of tips or monthly contribution through Patreon. All that links are also in the description. I don't know. Is there anything else? Maybe you guys have any last questions about the game or any other little things that you want to poke and prod about my personal knowledge about the thing. If not, I'll go probably kill a couple of animals and then end. So, give me a sec. I need to acquire a fucking target there. So, right, animals. Where's my Uzi thing magic? Let's see. Animals. Where? Ah, I see something's moving there. Okay. The animal. Ah, there we go. Die, you shits! Alright, that's dead. Where's the next thing? There we go. Because I'm a psychopath or something, because that makes sense, right? Stop shouting, you shits! Oh, reload. Shoot some more. Come back here. Oh, he's dead. Well, I'm gonna rush away anyways. So yeah, guys, you enjoy your evening, and well, I'll see you. Let's see. I might be streaming tomorrow if I actually have the time, but probably not gonna have that much time since I'm gonna be coming back from Unicon, and those of you that are visiting Latvia for that particular thingamajig, well, come say hi. I'll be around, and oh, kind of hard to miss. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week, probably.